You have been told that if your mortgage payment is the same as your rent, you should buy a home, right? Well, what if I told you that this is one of the biggest financial myths out there? Buying a home might not be the best choice even if the numbers look right on the surface. And in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you why. In this video, I will give you a simple but powerful way to compare renting and buying that will totally change how you see this decision. Let's get right into it. So, most people compare their mortgage payment with their rent, but that's a huge mistake, right? A mortgage isn't only cost of owning a home. What you really need to compare are what they call it unrecoverable costs. The cost you never get it back, whether you rent or you own. For example, when you rent, it's simple. Your rent is your unrecoverable cost. But for home ownership, it's a bit more complicated. You have got to think about property taxes, maintenance, and the cost of capital, which most people totally forget about it. This is where the 5% rule comes in. I will explain it to you. It's a simple way to compare the unrecoverable costs of buying to rent. Okay, here is how. It works like that. Property tax, that's about 1% of the home value per year. Maintenance cost, you can add another or throw another 1%. And the big one, the cost of capital, whether you are paying mortgage, interest, or giving up a potential return on your down payment, adds up around 3%. Add those together and you get 5% of the home value as your total unrecoverable cost. So let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're thinking about buying a home worth $500,000, just for easy math. Using the 5% rule, that home will cost you about $25,000 per year in unrecoverable cost, or roughly $2,100. Okay. Now, if you can rent a similar home for less than that, let's say for $2,000 a month, then renting is probably the smartest or the smarter financial decision. But it works the other way too. If you're looking at rental for $3,000 per month, you can multiply these $3,000 by 12 and divide it by 5%. That gives you around $720,000, meaning you can buy a home worth less than that. Buying might be more sense. This gives you a super quick way to compare the financial cost of renting versus buying based on unrecoverable cost. Now, here is the part most people miss: the opportunity cost. When you buy a home, especially with a large down payment, you are tying up a lot of money in real estate that could have been invested somewhere else, like let's say stock market or bonds or whatever. So when you put down a big chunk of money for a home, you are giving up the potential higher returns you could have earned in the market. This is the real economic cost that most people don't even think about it. Of course, the 5% rule is the simplification. If you are investing in a less aggressive portfolio or dealing with a tax on your investment, your cost of capital might be lower. So the 5% rule might drop to 4% or even lower. For some like aggressive investors or those with mixed out RRSPs and TFSAs, the 5% rule is solid tool. But if you are more conservative with your investment, you might want to adjust it down. So the next time you are thinking about the classic rent versus buy question, don't just compare your rent to mortgage payment. Use the 5% rule to look at the total unrecoverable cost on both sides and make a decision that based on real number, not math. How do you think about the rent versus buy decision? Let me know in the comments below. If this video give you a new perspective, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you don't miss the future episodes. Thanks for watching.